Hey, fans and subscribers of the Football Frame of Mind podcast. You're about to watch the top five segment, top five running backs of all time. We try to be very, very transparent and we try to be very inclusive in our list. So we hope you enjoy and let us know what you think in the comment section. And like always, like, follow, and subscribe. Enjoy.
I didn't see guys like Herschel Walker or whatever. I didn't see a guy like him really play in his prime, right? So it's hard for me to say, oh my God, he's the best, right? But judging off of the highlights, dude was pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
so it's hard for me not to say that, right? So when I thought
Mm-hmm.
about putting people on my list from like our generation or new guys or whatever, um you had to stand off. You had to stand out. Like I had to really say, okay, this guy is one of the best running backs ever, and
Yeah.
doesn't get any knowledge at all.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, I like I said, I'm interested to see your list. I'm interested. Period. Yeah.
So I've got five, but I do want to throw in like three honorable mentions just to give courteous. Uh,
Yeah, I got a
because a lot of
five
my
A.
guys,
I got a five
a
A,
lot
a
of my
five
guys, oh
B,
yeah,
and
I
a
can go
five
higher if
C.
I want to.
I got a
Most
five. I got a 5A, 5B, and 5C. I promise you. I had to. I couldn't decide which one. I couldn't do it. So it's gonna surprise you.
So I mean, I've got five. I've got a couple other ones. Most of these guys I've got actually just for the five aren't in this generation. You're looking at probably the nine in between the 80s and 90s, and maybe like one from the 70s. But if I'm going recently, just honorable mention, uh, Leonard Fournette at LSU was a really an animal. What he was able to do with the speed, his ability to run through guys, his ability to catch out the backfield, the guy was an animal. Uh, Another guy who doesn't really get credit, he's obviously a perennial Pro Bowl in the NFL, is Christian McCaffrey for
Oh
Stanford.
yeah. Oh
The
yeah.
guy was electric in the Pac-12.
Electric.
The
Yeah.
guy was damn near impossible to catch. Once he get in the open field, if you're not on him, you're not catching him
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I liked him a
Uh,
lot.
Now, if I'm going to get in my top five, no particular order, I'm gonna go Ron Dane from Wisconsin.
Okay. Okay.
Guy
I
ran
like
for over
him.
2,000 yards in a season twice. Guy was a freaking Wisconsin's always really known for
We're having
very
some good
talented
backs.
running back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Monte Ball,
Melvin
him.
Gordon.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
another good one right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll throw Herschel in there. Herschel was an animal with Georgia, and
Yeah.
obviously it did translate into the pros, but he was just next level in my opinion.
I think he could have won 3 Heisman in a row, honestly. Like,
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it, and that I think that's a reason why I had to put him there. I mean, you just can't deny greatness.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Another one I'm gonna dock is I'll put Ricky Williams top five as well for Texas.
Okay.
Ricky was you got to understand, Ricky. If Ricky wasn't that good, the Saints don't trade their entire draft class to get you. I
Right.
mean, the guy was. He
right.
probably didn't go to the hype fully, but the guy was a good tailback.
I agree.
He put 1,000 yard seasons. He was able to get you 4+ yards a carry. The guy could run the ball really really well. Uh,
He was
Now I
nice.
probably get to the two guys who I think are like one and two, no particular order. You got to throw Archie Griffin in there.
Okay. Okay. I fuck.
Archie Griffin, that's a little bit older out of our time frame, but I mean,
Man, but he
you
got
can't
two
deny
Heisman's
Heisman trophies.
too. So,
You can't
hey,
deny it.
hey, if you're talking running backs, my man's was he's the GOAT status. He got something that none of them other dudes got. I dominated college football for 2 years, and they gave me the award 2 times. So like, oh,
Now,
I'm the leading rusher. You ain't getting no 2 Heisman's though. That's a perfect end to any argument. I don't care, whatever.
I agree. And the last guy, I mean, most people would put him at one. I'd probably put him at one, but you can't have a five list without Barry Sanders.
No, not
You
at all.
can't. What the guy could do catching the ball with the shiftiness, the acceleration, the way he's breaking tackles, the way he's getting away from everybody. the way he'd run the ball, the way he'd open up the pass game, like that translates to a lot of guys we see play nowadays. Guys that aren't just one-dimensional, guys that can catch the ball at the backfield, guys that can run routes down the field and help your quarterback have an extra, like a pretty much a fallback option. You don't have to always rely on your tight end. You don't always have to rely on your backside receiver. You know what I mean? He definitely revolutionized what tailbacks do nowadays, in my opinion.
I mean, look, he arguably had the greatest running back season, I think, of anybody. Like now we got like 15 games or something. Like he got 2,000 plus rushing yards without the bowl game, to be honest with you. And he got 2,000 plus in like 11, 12 games, something like that. It was something small, but he was killing. He's out there doing OJ stuff, man. Like how OJ run for 2,000 yards in the NFL in like 10 games. Like, do you understand? Like, you understand how crazy that sounds? Like, he almost had
think about it.
He almost had 3,000 rushing yards in one season. Like, that's mind blowing, man. Like, I can't stress that enough.
That's the heydays of college football, bro. You don't see that kind of stuff no more.
No, like he out here like taking souls, man. Like like I think he had 300 yards in one game. Like think about that for a minute. Like a dude just running. Just
completely
like how many,
took over. You don't need the quarterback to do anything besides hand it off.
Like how many miles is that just to be running on the football field for 300 yards?
Woo!
Like
that's a lot, bro.
That's a lot of miles, man. Putting work on people's turf because that's what it was playing on back then. But like, I ain't got no problem with that, man. None at all. So that's a good list, man. I really like how you put Christian McCaffrey in there, man. I forgot really how good he really was, but my dude did everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything. And
he opened up that offense.
And I think what hurt him in that Heisman race is the fact that he didn't score a lot of touchdowns. He was getting a whole lot of yards, but he wasn't scoring a lot of touchdowns. And the reason why Derrick Henry won is because he was changing that scoreboard. They wasn't catching him from behind. So, you end up, I'm being honest with you, man.
Like, I agree. I definitely agree.
You rush for like 20 touchdowns, something like that, man. And these are not just touchdowns, these are like 80-yard runs. And he's a big guy to be running like that. Crazy. But all right, so
what do you got? So hit me with your best shot, bro. Let's see what you got.
So all right, so I told you I had a 5A, B, and C, right? So I couldn't decide between these guys because they're all interchangeable. But 5C for me is I'm gonna go with Saquon Barkley. Like
that's a really good one.
He was one of the most electric running backs I've ever seen. And he was breaking the mold for those running backs that, obviously in the NFL, running backs becoming devalued. But he was such a good guy that you can't not put him in your top 5 because he was electric. He took everything. And I think I put him on my list specifically because he played in that Fiesta Bowl and he didn't have to. That stood out with me more than anything. And that's why Leonard Fournette's not in my list because he didn't play in that bowl game, even though his team, was in it, but I think it stood out for me a lot because he risked everything, playing in that game. And, he did, and he balled out and they won because of him, So that stood out for me. I mean, obviously he had the yards, he had the highlight plays, everything, All-American, whatever. He did everything, so I put him on my list. 5B, I can't be a Bama fan without having my man Derrick Henry on there. I love Mark Ingram. He's my guy. He started the Bama, running back tree in a sense, as far as draft picks are concerned, right? So he really did his thing. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we had some great running backs. Sean Alexander comes to mind. Derek Lassick was awesome. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I said Mark Ingram. We had a guy, Glenn Coffey. He really started the Nick Saban era.
And nobody talks about Glenn Coffey, bro. Nobody talks about him.
So we had some really good running backs at the school, man. But Derrick Henry put the stamp on it. Like, this is one of the schools you need to get a running back from. I mean, I don't think anybody in the SEC had 2,000 yards rushing. I don't think ever. I think everybody had a lot of rushing yards, but I think he was the first one to eclipse 2,000 in
I
a
wouldn't
season.
doubt it. I
Huh?
think you're right.
Yeah, so like the running backs we've seen in this league, to be the first to do that, and I think it was a dominating season. I hate to say it, but Leonard Fournette's Heisman ended the same day Derrick Henry Heisman run began. Okay, it
Yeah.
was a rough night for him, but like it was trending downward anyway, because after that game against Auburn, we had like 2,250 yards or something like that. Like every performance after that kind of went down. Like it was a 250, like 170, 130 or whatever against Troy or whatever, right? It wasn't pretty. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, he's trending backwards. Like if it was going in reverse, I think, oh snap, okay, now we got something, right? But
Mm-hmm.
because they was budding, and it was great game, highlight, game or whatever. But Derrick Henry just showed out, man. You know what I'm saying? And then to end that year, having, almost 300 yards against Auburn, like we have talking like 270, like that's wild, man. I told a guy, he's like, man, Derrick Henry ain't nothing. I was like, I bet he get 300. Bullshit. Bullshitting. I bet he get 300. Yeah. He like, nah, man, 270 that night. So he's like, yeah, I was bullshitting. I wasn't even serious. I was like, give me 150 and we good. He
Hey,
went,
anything's possible when you got a tailback like that, man.
yeah. So and then 5A is Marshall Falk, man. I think the biggest snub as far as running backs is concerned. If we're talking Heisman, I'm talking he almost had, I think he had 2,000. So talk about backs being the architect for backs today. I think it starts with Marshall Falk, man. He can do everything: pass, protect, catch, run, obviously. So he could do everything, man. And I think he was, if we talk NFL, he was responsible for kind of breaking in Peyton Manning a lot.
Yeah.
People don't understand how important he was, man. He could control pass protection because he knew how to do it. Peyton Manning really didn't have to do that for real. And he kind of eased
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Manning in, just let him focus on, being a quarterback, because you got a good running back there. You can do a lot, man. He's almost your last line of defense, what I'm saying, especially for a free runner. So like I said, I think he was a snub. I would not have given that Heisman to Gino Torretta. I don't even know who that is for real, but guess what? He won, and I thought it was crazy, but whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? Pac-12 after dark, nobody was watching. I think it was stupid. But hey, whatever. He won, right? So he's not 5. 4. Going Archie Griffin, man. I think Archie Griffin, I watched some highlights of him, man. He was so smooth, slicing through those Big Ten defenses. Like it was simple, like they wasn't even there, but you're on my list when you get 2 Heisman's, man. Ain't nobody got that. I think that puts you almost on everybody's top 5 list. I don't care if you're 5, 1, whatever, you're on the list. 2 Heisman's, and really the second one was better than the first, if you ask me. Like, so I think he's on my list, right? So 3, I got Bo Jackson, Auburn. I mean, talk about,
Yeah, that's what I want. That's definitely one that
so
I should
I
have.
gotta I have to go Bo Jackson and Auburn. I hate Auburn. It hurts me to say this, but hurts me to say this, but yeah, yeah. He was really good, man. He was good. And he torched a lot of defenses, including ours. So I thought he was really good, man. But fandom aside, man, talk about athletes, man. He could everything you wanted as a running back, fast, strong, everything. He could do it all, man. And to be in his career to be playing both sports in college, I think that's awesome. I think people should do that even more nowadays. If you're good at one, you should play the other. But we're in a different era. But I thought he was really good, man, and he did a lot, man. So I think if you're talking his NFL career, obviously it was cut short because of injury. But I think it wouldn't have even got to that point had Tampa Bay did him right. People don't understand that Tampa Bay had the first pick in the draft, in the NFL draft, and he just wanted to play baseball for his senior year. And they, told him that he was going to be able to, and he tried to, and they deemed him ineligible because he had talked to, I guess he had did a private jet or whatever. So it messed him up, and he didn't go to Tampa Bay. They drafted him, but he didn't go there, and the rest is history, right? But that could have changed the course of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Think about that.
Mhm.
Think about that, foreshadowing for another episode. But just think about that for a minute. All right, so number 2 on my list is can't go wrong. We just talked about it, Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders, obviously, almost 3,000 yards in one season. He's a Heisman winner. Drafted by the Lions. Rest is history, man. He's on everybody's list, maybe Mount Rushmore of running backs. Like, doesn't matter, college, pro, shit, high school. He probably on the list, right? So already said what he's done, right? Number 1, obviously, Herschel Walker. I don't think we're talking running backs. I don't think you can say much about him in college, man. I think, he was responsible for them winning that national championship that they've held in so much regard. 1980, it was all him, damn near. And yeah, he could have won 3 Heisman's in a row, man. That speaks dividends for you coming into the league balling. You know what I'm saying?
Longevity and consistency.
Yep. Like, that's just star power, man. Like when they say you could have won 3 Heisman's in a row, you're damn good. So he's number 1 on my list, man. That's my order, man. What'd you think?
No, I mean we agree on most of them, and I mean I would have put Bo. It was really, if we were making a top 10, he would have definitely been there. And I do agree to your point, pretty much how you said Saquon played and Leonard didn't. That's kind of a deal breaker with me because like I don't like when that's kind of where we're at right now in college football. Like guys will, I mean, good prime example. Like let's look at Jamar Chase. Like sat out an entire season during the COVID year. I mean, and Kayshon Boutte had a really good year based on that. But like just sitting that's definitely a turnoff for me,
Yeah,
and
but
it
I
showed
mean,
where
COVID was different though. Like that was
yeah.
that was life or death in a situation, man. People just kind of went for their own health and consideration. You know what I'm saying? But like for Leonard to not play, that kind of messed with me a little bit, man.
Yeah, I agree
I
with you.
get
I
it.
think you
I get it. He's a top guy, and you don't want to do it. But your
but
boys
just play minimum
played,
at
man.
least.
Your boys played. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Jamal Adams played, and he was damn good.
All them dudes played.
Yeah, all of them played, man. For you not to play, and I don't know. I just didn't agree with it, and that's a kind of deal broke for me because I would have gave him one of my 5s because he was damn good. You know what I'm saying? But no, I can't do that. But like I said, man, I love your list. I loved it, especially with Christian McCaffrey. That was like a boom for me. I was like, I forgot all about him. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, we kind of overlap, man. RG Griffin, Barry Sanders, Herschel Walker. I think we had a good list.